Got a goal and you just can't hit it? Well, fill up here and we'll help you get it. Learn the Goal Achievement Success System here on Goal Getting Podcast and put some gas in your goals to power you to the finish line. Let's go, friends. Rev up your engines and let's take off for success. Hello, goal getters. Welcome to Goal Getting Podcast again. I hope you're enjoying your day. I have a wonderful guest on the show for us today, Dr. Phil Carson. Dr. Phil, how are you this morning?
Hey, Tony. I am doing great this morning. Thank you so much for having me on your show today.
Well, great. I appreciate you being out here. Now, where are you calling us from today?
I am just outside of Tupelo, Mississippi, my birthplace. Been living here in this area all of my life.
Well, welcome to the show.
Yeah, well, thank you so much.
Now, Dr. Phil, can you tell, now you're not the Dr. Phil that everybody may be thinking about, but you have hair.
No.
You have hair.
Yeah, I've got hair. I'm not quite as round as he is.
Yeah, not quite as round. You look good. But tell us a little bit about yourself, Dr. Phil.
All right. Well, I'm traditionally trained as a pharmacist. Today, I am what I call a holistic health architect, and I help people design plans to get healthy and to do it as naturally as possible, which may sound kind of strange to people. Me being a traditionally trained pharmacist is something that I started doing quite a few years ago, working with people with natural products and natural therapies. And I love it. I had my own health challenges that I had to overcome, and I found the answers. I found the solutions, not in drugs, which I was taking several trying to get relief of the problems I was dealing with, gastric issues, severe digestion issues, and primarily, a lot of it was directly related to the stress in my life from numerous things, including work and the job that I had managing a big store. It was natural therapies, natural products that helped me overcome those challenges. The changes that it made in my life impressed me so that began to share the things I had learned with my patients that I had coming into the pharmacy. And I had people coming in asking me questions all the time about natural products. And I didn't know what to tell them because in pharmacy school, when I went through years ago, I was trained or taught rather the history of natural medicine, not the application of it. It was a challenge for me to learn, and I started taking courses, started getting certifications and all kinds of natural products and natural therapies, and it just kind of blossomed and grew from there over the years. Today, I'm living my dream of coaching other people and helping other people live healthier lives, doing it in the most natural way possible.
Well, that's amazing. That's really good help, because I know as a personal, if you're on the show and a member of the audience for a while, you know that I'm overweight and have a health wellness goal this year to reach my goal weight of 185 pounds because I'm a type 2 diabetic. And that's one of my goals, is to get off my medicines that I'm taking, because I take quite a bit and it's expensive for one. And that's one thing that I want to do. So if there's an alternative to the high cost of medicine that you could treat that with, that'd be great to know. Getting in better shape is also a great tool, I think, for that. Tell us a little bit about what the difference between the natural medicine and the medicine that most of us may take if we're diabetic or have health problems.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the primary differences, and this is the primary difference that people seek me out for, is the side effects of medications. All medications, all drugs have some kind of side effect that a person has to deal with. Sometimes the side effects are minimal, they're not bothersome, but sometimes they're really bothersome. And a lot of times I have had patients over the years, they'll start taking one medication, then they end up taking another one for the side effects of the first medication. That's one of the primary issues and the major problems. And a lot of these medications, they're chemicals, and these chemicals can have all kinds of unnatural effects on the body. And that's one of the, like I said, that's the primary reason people seek me out, looking for natural answers, natural solutions to their health issues. And doing it naturally, you generally have less side effects, or mostly no side effects with most natural products. But that's not to say that there are not some, and that there are not problems with natural products. And that's a misunderstanding that a lot of people have. They think, well, it's natural, it's not going to hurt me. Well, that's not necessarily true. Natural products you have to be careful with, just like you do with medications. Most cases, not to the extreme that you do with the medications, because they're not chemicals; they're natural. And with natural products, most of them that I use personally are food source products. They're not chemically made. They're not synthetic products. They're food source products. They're mostly nutrients that our body needs and has to have. Now, there are a lot of herbal products out there that work very well and do a lot of good for people. And there are homeopathic products as well. They're natural products. So there's a lot of things out there on the market when it comes to natural that can be alternatives to prescription medications. Now, being a pharmacist, I'm not anti-drug, but I have seen natural products work in a lot of cases as effectively as drugs or medication, and sometimes better, depending on what it is.
Right. So either way, though, you're going to need to talk with somebody who's probably an expert or much more knowledgeable than you are. Don't just go out and pick up stuff and that you're not familiar with. You need to take some caution in that, I would assume.
Exactly. Caution needs to be used no matter what you're using. And you're absolutely right. It's good to get some advice from someone who knows what they're talking about when it comes to natural product and has the knowledge to help you understand how to take it properly and why you should take it and what it's going to do for you. And if you are on medications and you are taking natural products as well, which a lot of people do that, you have to be aware of the potential side effects that go along with taking combination therapies like that. Even though it's natural, you can still have drug interactions and problems. So, a lot of people don't take that into consideration, and they go out and get something that, their friend or their cousin or somebody told them, hey, this stuff helped me. Why don't you take it?
Right.
People start taking stuff a lot of times and they get themselves in trouble because they didn't get the proper advice before they started taking something.
Good. Yeah, that's great information. We don't want to take something we shouldn't take. And that's easy for us to think about, I can just do this and never realize the consequences of that. Good advice. Thank you. Now, Dr. Phil, you started as a pharmacist. That was your dream? Was that what you had told me earlier, one of your dreams that you had had?
Well, that was a career path I chose when I was in high school.
Okay.
I learned quickly that it was extremely stressful job, especially in the situation that I was in. I was made manager of a store 1 year after being out of pharmacy school. The manager of the store that I was working in left, and they made me manager with 1 year of experience under my belt. And it was a big store, a lot of employees. This was back in the days when we didn't have computers. And we used a typewriter, and it was major paperwork that had to be submitted to the home office of this big chain operation every week. So I was not just working every day filling prescriptions, but I was spending most of my nights doing paperwork.
Oh, wow.
And so it was it began to become extremely stressful, and it was affecting my life in a lot of ways. But that's where I got started. And after 2 years of being out of pharmacy school and working as a pharmacist, I was ready to quit. I didn't want to do it anymore. I said, this is killing me. I can't continue to do this. But fortunately, a gentleman that owned a local small independent operation had opened up another store. He needed a manager for it, so he hired me. I gladly took the job, and with less pay, started managing this little store and helped build it up and grow it over the years. That was something that kept me in pharmacy because my real dream, Tony, was after I learned these natural therapies that helped me and changed my life, changed my health. I wanted to start sharing those things with other people. And that became my dream, was to learn everything I could about natural products and natural therapies, because I began to see the results as I would share more and more and see people coming back and thanking me for telling them about something. I didn't have people coming back and thanking me all the time for dispensing a drug to them that gave them all kinds of side effects, but people came back and thanked me often for a natural product that I had recommended to them and what a difference it made in their health. So that became my dream, was to learn more and start coaching people in natural products and natural therapies and in living a healthier lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's something I learned to do myself and change my lifestyle, as well as taking the natural products that I was taking. It was a combination of things that turned my life around and turned my health around.
Right. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not just taking alternative medicines or anything like that. It is changing a lifestyle. It takes more than just medicine and dieting and everything else. It is a lifestyle change, from what I've been learning on my journey here, at least in this diabetic journey I've been on. That brings up a question that I have, as you're reaching these goals that you've had in this new career, this was something that you would strive for, and how's that working for you these days?
Oh, it's working great. Actually, a little over a year ago, I was part of a pharmacy operation, and I sold my shares in that operation. A little over a year ago, I opened up a medical clinic, Life Transformation Medical Center, with a doctor friend of mine. We partnered together, and it was in March, actually, of last year. We opened up the Life Transformation Medical Center. Over the past several months, we have developed what we call Life Transformation Wellness. Mm-hmm. We have a wellness program as part of this medical center. She's a traditionally trained MD, but she believes in natural products and natural therapies just like I do. Mm-hmm. So we're working together to provide a wonderful wellness program. It's basically a lifestyle change program for people that want to get healthier, that want to make some lifestyle changes, that have health issues, that have not been able to find the answers in traditional medicine. That was one of my big goals. One of my big dreams was to have a practice like that, and to be a part of a practice like that. It's something I was able to realize in the past year. It's been wonderful.
Both of us have gone through some challenging times and had a couple failures in our lives. And what's one of the biggest failures you've had that you feel is a failure, or learning experience? What was the biggest lesson that you learned from it?
Well, I was actually building and pursuing the type of dream I just talked about several years ago, about 10 years ago. In 2008, 2009, as your listeners probably well know, that's when our economy began to take a downturn, and things began to look pretty bleak for a lot of people that were in business and financially. And I had 2 pharmacies going at the time. I had gone into business for myself. I had left that operation I just talked about earlier, and decided to go into business for myself, opened up a store, built it up from scratch. It became successful. I opened up a second store, and 2008, 2009, the things started looking pretty bad. Mm-hmm. And at the end of 2009, December 31st, 2009, I tell people I locked the door on my dream. Mm-hmm. Because that second store I opened up was one that was designed to be a natural pharmacy. Uh-huh. And it was actually had a health food store in the front of it. Had offices set up with a nurse, and we were helping a lot of diabetics. We were doing a lot of things naturally. And I was doing some coaching there and consulting with people's health issues, teaching classes, all these kind of things that I was loving to do. And I lost it all. 2009, locked that door and lost everything. Had to file bankruptcy. I lost everything but my house. I was able to keep my house. But it was a struggle. It was tough. But over the past several years, other opportunities have come along. I was able to pay off all my debts, sell the operation that I had become a part of. I actually was able to invest in a company, a startup, in 2012. Fortunately, I was able to get a job when I lost everything. Right. But in 2012, an opportunity came along for me to invest in a startup of the new pharmacy operation. I didn't have any money to invest, of course, but I invested my time. I invested a computer, some computer equipment that I had, helped this guy get a business started with blood, sweat, and tears initially, and working, over, during the night. I mean, working at night, working during the weekends, because I had a job. I couldn't quit that job. It was my main source of income. I helped him get this going, get it started. For that, I got a percentage of the business, and it grew and it grew and it grew and it grew. And that's, a little over a year ago, I sold all my shares in the business. And that's when I partnered with Dr. Washington and opened up the clinic. But the thing that I would tell people as far as my failure, and the thing that I learned most in that failure was that I'm not Superman. That I can't do it all myself. And I'm a type A individual and a perfectionist. And I thought, I had to do it. I had to do it all. It was all on me. And I was reluctant to allow people to help. And I've always been a very independent person as well. But the greatest thing I learned, Tony, was that we need help sometimes. And we need to allow other people into our lives that know more than we do about something, or that can do something better than we can. Right. And let them help us. And I was reluctant to do that a lot of times. And there's people I should have hired. There's services I should have used. There's things I should have done that would have made it easier on me, created a lot less stress in my life as well. So that would be the thing I would tell people, to, especially young entrepreneurs. Don't try to do it all on your own. Don't try to go out there and be that super man, or be that person you think you can handle it all. Get people to help you, and you'll be more successful.
That's a great advice, and I appreciate sharing that, because we often, as an entrepreneur, I tend to do too many things my own, and that's something that we need to release and let other people that we have as a team, build a team and, get others to help you. So that's great advice, Dr. Phil. I appreciate that. Habits are also very big in entrepreneurism and also in life itself, building good habits. What are some habits that you have that you recommend for people to help them achieve their goals? One
of the biggest habits I have now is trying to have a routine and a daily routine, daily things that I do. Those habits include fitness. I'm a big believer in fitness. I'm a big believer in eating right, eating healthy. As a matter of fact, I wrote a book about all of that last year called How to Live Until You Die, the 7 Keys to Living Happy, Healthy, and Whole. And a lot of that came out of my story over the past several years of how, my life has been up and down and a struggle, and how I've learned what it means to live happy, healthy, and whole.
Oh, excellent.
Through all of that struggle. The routine that I have developed over the past several years after that big failure is I get up in the morning, start my day off with exercise, with prayer, meditation, having some quiet time, and easing into the day. That's makes my day a whole lot less stressful as well. So those are habits that anybody can incorporate into their life. The habits of eating healthier, because for years I didn't do that. One of the reasons why I had a lot of the digestive and gastric issues that I dealt with years ago. The healthy habits like that give us what we need to have a healthy body, soul, and spirit. And I think it's important that we take care of all parts of our being and strive to keep everything in balance. Something that I didn't do for most of my life is try to keep everything in the proper balance. We may not ever get in total balance, but it's something we should strive for. That should be a goal of ours, is to strive for that balance in our lives, where we try to keep everything in the proper balance that it's supposed to be in. And if we my belief is that when we do that, we're going to be happier and healthier and more whole.
Yeah, happiness and is a very big key. And eliminating stress. You talked about stress quite a bit, and that's something that I think kills more people than anything.
Absolutely,
because it causes a lot of illness. It exacerbates illnesses that you may already have, and that's something many of us, if we're entrepreneurial or if we're just trying to achieve goals, we even let that stress keep us from doing things. So we want to minimize that as much as possible. So definitely get that balance in there. So Dr. Phil, how can people find out about your book, get a copy of that, and or find out more about you? What are some ways they can get in touch with you?
Absolutely. I have a website, carsonnatural.com. They can go to that website, learn everything you want to learn about me. Also, I have a book website set up, howtoliveuntillyoudie.com. And there's a book promotion going on there now where they can get the autographed copy of the book and some other bonus things. Those are the two best ways to reach out to me. Is through the websites.
Great. And I will have links to those websites on our show notes, goalgettingpodcast.com/Dr. Phil, DoctorPhil. Did I spell doctor right? drphil.com. It'll be spelled right on the website if I didn't spell it there, but I think I did. So, Dr. Phil, what quote do you have on your wall that you might have that motivates you, or do you have quotes that you use for inspiration?
Oh, yeah. I do. One of the I've got a list of quotes actually on my wall from author Andy Andrews. Andy's written quite a few books and very successful books, and he's a great motivational speaker and author. Another Southern guy. Yep. He's from Alabama. His wife is from Mississippi. So one of the quotes I have on my wall are quotes from his book, The Traveler's Gift. And one of those quotes is, choose to be happy. A lot of times, our happiness, is a choice. And then, the circumstances we live in, the things that we have to face from day to day, sometimes we have to make that choice. Say, it may not be, situation that we're in where we feel happy or we want to be happy. Right. But Andy says, choose to be happy. Something I think about quite often when I'm having those tough days and I'm struggling. I've got to choose to be happy.
And that's a good point. Yeah, you have to choose. Happiness is a choice. It's something we have to choose to do. And that's a good one. I like that. And I'm familiar with Andy Andrews, so I've read some of his stuff myself. So very good quote. And do you have any other books that you recommend that might help people that are working to achieve their goals? Anything that somebody could pick up besides, of course, your book and, maybe even Andy Andrews, but any book that you've used to help guide you to your success? Yeah.
Well, the book that I just mentioned, by Andy, The Traveler's Gift. The Traveler's Gift. Yeah, is a fantastic book to help somebody achieve their goals. It's a great story, about, a man who has had a failure in his life and lessons learned through that failure. Andy weaves all kinds of historical figures into this story to teach some great lessons, and it's things that people can incorporate into their daily lives that can make a difference and help them achieve their goals. So yeah, that would be one book for sure that I would recommend.
Well, excellent. Good. We'll have links to that also on our show notes page at goalgettingpodcast.com/Dr. Phil when we launch, and you'll be able to check that out as well. I do, like I said, recommend Andy Andrews myself. I've been following him for quite some time. It's always good to hear other people are interested in the same authors you are. So, Dr. Phil, do you have any last words of wisdom that you can offer for our listeners on achieving their goals and, following their dreams? Because you followed your dream, you got to do what you want to do, even with a failure. And failures aren't necessarily bad. They're a learning lesson in life. But what are some words of wisdom that you would offer for our listeners today?
I would have to say, don't give up. You may be facing all kinds of odds. You may be looking at a failure yourself. You may be on the verge of that failure. But if you do find yourself in that place, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dream. I thought 7 years ago that my dream was over. Over the past several years, I've been able to revive that dream. And I never totally gave up on that dream. Mm-hmm. I've been able to revive it, come back and pursue it in a greater way than I ever imagined I could have 7 years ago. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't lose hope. That's my advice. Don't lose hope.
Don't lose hope. That's good. Yeah, having failures and setbacks and things that don't go your way a lot of times can put us into a funk. I've been there myself many times, but the key is, as you said, and I appreciate that, don't give up hope. Never give up. It's a very strong thing to think about in our lives. So hopefully everybody, goal getters, keep that in mind. Never give up. Keep on with your dream. Never give up hope. You can always keep going. Well, great.
That's right. Let me say this one last thing.
Yeah, please.
And it's a quote that just came to mind and it's talking about this, is that I heard someone say one time, failure is not the enemy of success. Quitting is. Don't quit.
Well, Dr. Phil, I always love hearing about people who have kept going with their goals. They do what they need to do and they don't give up. That's a big motivation to me when I get down, is trying to remember those who failed and continue to succeed after that. One little failure doesn't kill you. It just makes you stronger and it gives you life lessons, in my opinion. That's my belief. I do appreciate you sharing those with us today on the show.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Tony, for having me on your show. It's been an honor to be with you today.
Thank you, Dr. Phil, and we look forward to hearing from you again.
Thank you so much.